Ladies, listen, let me tell you something, and I want you to really hear this because a lot of people miss it. If a man is always on your mind, it's not just something that happens casually or by accident. No, it goes deeper than that. When a man's thoughts keep coming back to you, it's not just in his head, it's in his heart. It is in his actions. It is in the way he carries himself. And it is in the changes that start happening in his life. And I don't care what kind of man he is, whether he is the type to play it cool or the type who keeps it all bottled up. If he can get you off his mind, something is happening to him inside that you might not even notice. I want you to pay attention because these are subtle signs, but they're very powerful. First of all, he's noticing himself more than ever. And I don't mean in a selfish way. I mean in a reflective way. He starts to look in the mirror and see himself differently. He might straighten his posture, start dressing sharper, or even change the way he talks around people. Now you might say, well, that's just him caring about his appearance. But no, it's more than that. When a man is thinking about you constantly, he is evaluating himself. He asking himself, am I enough for her? He is comparing the man he is today to the man he wants to be when he's with you. And let me tell you, that is uncomfortable sometimes. A lot of men don't like looking at themselves that closely because they see flaws they've ignored for years. But the fact that he's doing it, that is growth. That is a sign that your presence in his life is actually influencing the man he's becoming. And Don, get it twisted. This is just surface stuff. Deep work going on in his mind, in his spirit. Second, he is replaying your conversations. Oh, yes, he is. Men, Don, always remember birthdays, anniversaries, or what someone said in passing. But when he can get you off his mind, he's going over every little thing you said. Maybe it was a joke you told, maybe it was a story, maybe it was something serious you shared. He's thinking about it, replaying it, asking himself, did I respond the way I should have? Did I really hear her? That's attention. That's care. And the funny thing is, it's happening quietly. You might not see him texting you back right away or calling you, but inside his mind, he's running through a mental scrapbook of you. He's storing these memories because in his heart, you become important enough to be remembered in the smallest detail. That's no small thing. Now, third, he's imagining a future with you. I know some people will roll their eyes at this, but hear me out. Men think in scenarios. They imagine what life would look like if they were with someone. And when a man can't get you off his mind, he starts picturing moments, a weekend together, a holiday, a random Tuesday night where he's sitting across from you, talking about nothing and everything all at once. And sometimes he's thinking long term about what life would be like holding your hand through the storms and the celebration. These mental rehearsals shape decisions he's making, actions he's taking, and even the man he's becoming. He starts aligning his life, maybe without even realizing it, to fit the vision he's carrying of the two of you. That's a huge deal. That's emotional investment happening silently. Fourth, he's battling fears. C, being emotionally attached, even just in thought, brings a lot of vulnerability. Men don't always talk about this, but I'll tell you what's going on. He's wrestling with insecurities, fear of rejection, fear of saying the wrong thing, fear of losing you before he even has a chance to truly express himself. That's heavy stuff. And you might see him pull away sometimes or act distant. But don't mistake that for lack of care. No, that's him navigating the storm inside his mind, trying to protect what he feels for you while figuring out how to show it without scaring you or himself. That internal struggle, that's love developing in real time, quietly and sometimes messily. Fifth, he's prioritizing. This is where things start to get really interesting. When a man has you on his mind constantly, he starts making choices differently. He's avoiding unnecessary drama. He's stepping away from distractions, and he's investing more in himself and his life because he knows that in order to be worthy of you, he's got to step up. This is why you'll notice changes in his behavior. Maybe he stops wasting time on things that don't matter. Maybe he starts being more reliable. Maybe he even shifts the people he spends his time with. You see, being in your thoughts forces him to make room for you in his life. He's not just thinking about you. He's building his life around the possibility of you being in it. 6, he's opening up slowly but surely. Men are protective of their hearts. And the more he thinks about you, the more he tests the waters to see if he can trust you. He'll start sharing stories, thoughts, even insecurities that he's never told anyone else. And the more comfortable he feels, the deeper he goes. It's like he's saying, without words, I want you to see me for who I really am, flaws and all. And sometimes that slow reveal can be confusing for you. You might think he's distant, but in reality, he's being careful with his heart because he values the connection enough not to rush it. That's intentional love in action. And 7th, he's protecting what he feels. Men may not wear their hearts on their sleeves all the time, but when they can't stop thinking about you, they guard their emotions. He doesn't want to mess it up. He doesn't want to say the wrong thing or take the wrong step. So he becomes cautious, not because he's afraid of you, but because he's afraid of losing what he's starting to feel. He's learning to navigate the balance between desire and patience. And let me tell you, that care is a sign of deepening affection. It's proof that he respects not only himself, but the emotional bond that's forming between you. So if a man is always on your mind, don't ignore it. Don't write it off as casual interest or infatuation. Pay attention to the subtle shifts, the way he carries himself, the memory he holds of your words, the visions he imagines for the future, the fears he battles quietly, the choices he makes to prioritize, the trust he slowly builds, and the care he takes with his heart. These are not just small gestures. These are signs of transformation happening inside him because of you. And when you recognize this, you start to understand that your presence in his life is powerful. You're not just occupying space in his thoughts, you're shaping him, influencing him, and helping him become someone who can stand with you fully. And that, ladies, is a kind of love that starts quietly, grows intentionally, and has the potential to be truly remarkable. Let me tell you something. And I want you to really sit with this because it's important. When a man is always on your mind, or should I say, when you're always on his mind, things are happening to him in ways that you might not even see. And most people don't understand it. A man's mind doesn't work like a woman's in this area. He doesn't always show his feelings with words or gestures right away. But believe me, the moment you start occupying his thoughts constantly, his life begins to change. Even if he's trying to act like nothing's going on. You might think he's just distracted or being himself, but behind the scenes, there's a lot happening. First, he's becoming more self-aware. And I'm not talking about a superficial kind of self-awareness. I'm talking about the kind that makes a man pause and think about the way he shows up in the world. He might start noticing the little habits he has that could be holding him back or making him less desirable in your eyes. Maybe he starts dressing better. Maybe he starts taking care of his body. Or maybe he just tries to be a little sharper with his words. And he's doing this not because someone told him to, not because he wants attention from the world, but because he wants to be seen by you. When a man is constantly thinking about you, he starts asking himself, am I enough for her? Am I showing her the man I can be? And if he's honest with himself, he'll realize he's got some work to do. And that's growth happening quietly. That's change being inspired by love before it even has a name. Second, he's replaying moments with you over and over. Men don't do this as much as women. So when it happens, you know it's serious. He's thinking about conversations you've had, maybe little things you said that didn't seem important at the time. And they stick in his mind. Maybe it was a comment about something he cares about. Maybe it was a joke. Maybe it was a feeling he got from you in a quiet moment. And he's analyzing it, asking himself how he could have responded better, how he could have made you feel more appreciated or understood. That's not obsessing in a negative way. That's care. That's attention. That's proof that he values your words and your presence enough to let them shape his thoughts. And let me tell you, that's powerful. That's emotional investment happening quietly behind the scenes. Third, he's imagining a future with you. Some men don't like to admit it, but when a man is on your mind, he's already picturing what life could look like if you were part of it. Maybe he's thinking about weekends together, maybe about little moments in everyday life. Maybe even about bigger life decisions like where he wants to be in 5 years and how you fit into that picture. This isn't just idle daydreaming. These scenarios are guiding his decisions, shaping his priorities, and influencing the man he's becoming. He starts aligning his life, often without realizing it, to make room for the possibility of you. And if he's smart, he's doing it slowly, methodically, so that when the time comes, he can be the man you need him to be. Fourth, he's wrestling with his fears. You see, being emotionally invested in someone brings vulnerability, and vulnerability is scary. He's dealing with fears you might not even know exist. The fear of rejection, the fear of saying the wrong thing, the fear of failing you before he even tries. Sometimes he acts distant. Sometimes he seems confused, and that's not because he's losing interest. It's because he's trying to protect both his heart and the potential of a relationship with you. That's why patience is so important. When you notice him struggling internally, understand that it's part of the process of him learning how to love responsibly, how to step up, and how to be the kind of man who won't break what he's starting to feel for you. Fifth, he's prioritizing differently. Suddenly, things that used to matter, things that used to occupy his time, no longer hold the same weight. He's making space in his life, even in subtle ways, because he's thinking about you and what your presence means. He might start avoiding drama with friends or family. He might start being more intentional about his work or personal goals. And he might even start changing routines that weren't serving him. This is the man you're having an effect on without even asking. Your presence is causing him to evaluate what really matters. And that's not small. That's intentionality in action. Sixth, he's opening up, slowly but surely. Men don't always share their hearts quickly. And when they start thinking about someone constantly, they begin testing the waters. He'll tell you small things first, little details about his day, a story from his past, and watch how you respond. If he feels safe and respected, he'll go deeper, revealing parts of himself that few people get to see. And that's a big deal. That's trust. That's the foundation of a real emotional connection. And even when it feels like he's moving slowly or even being mysterious, it's because he is valuing your presence enough to protect his heart until he knows it. Safe to show it fully. Seventh, he is guarding his emotions carefully. A man who is thinking about you constantly isn't reckless with what he feels. He is cautious, yes, but he is cautious because he respects the potential of what is developing between you. He doesn't want to rush. He doesn't want to make a mistake. And he doesn't want to hurt what he's feeling before it has a chance to grow into something meaningful. That is why sometimes he seems distant, or you feel a little frustrated by his pace. But really, that caution is love in its purest form. He is learning patience, learning to navigate desire and timing, learning to protect what is developing inside his heart. So if a man is always on your mind, don't dismiss it as just a crush or a fleeting thought. Look at the way he carries himself, how he remembers your words, how he imagines a future, how he wrestles with fears, how he prioritizes differently, how he opens up, and how he guards his emotions. All of these things are signs of change, growth, and care happening quietly within him. They are subtle, but they are real. And if you pay attention, you'll realize that your presence in his life is shaping him in ways that matter. You're not just on his mind, influencing his heart, his choices, and even the man he's becoming. And that, ladies, is the power you have when a man can stop thinking about you. Let me tell you something, and I want you to really listen, because most people don't get this. If a man is always on your mind, or should I say, if you are always on his mind, things are happening to him that you don't even see, and I'm talking about real, deep changes. Now, some women will say, But how do I know he's thinking about me? I am telling you, it is more than just words or texts or calls. It's in the way he carries himself, the decisions he makes, the way he looks at life when you're re-involved in it. You see, when a man can get you out of his head, it starts affecting him in ways that are quiet but powerful. First off, he's noticing his own behavior. He's looking at himself differently because he wants to be the kind of man you deserve. You ever notice how some guys suddenly start dressing sharper or fixing little habits that you didn't even comment on? That's not a coincidence. That's influence. Your presence in his thoughts is causing him to reflect, am I the man she deserves? Am I showing up as the best version of myself? And sometimes that reflection is uncomfortable because he sees the things he hasn't done or the man he hasn't been. But that's the beauty of it. Your presence is making him grow without him even realizing it. Second, he's replaying conversations, little moments, everything you've ever said that touched him. Men don't always talk about remembering details, but when a man thinks about you constantly, he stores them in his head like treasure. Maybe it was a story, maybe it was advice, maybe it was a compliment or even a joke. And he keeps thinking, did I respond the right way? Could I have made her feel better? That's attention. That's care. That's not just thinking about you. He's analyzing his behavior, learning, adjusting, trying to figure out how to be better for you even before he's spoken about it. Third, he's imagining scenarios with you. I'm talking about him picturing life with you, not just in small moments, but in bigger ones. He imagines weekends together, holidays, maybe even conversations about long-term goals. And the funny thing is, these are things he doesn't always admit. He doesn't say, I see us doing this, that, and the other. But in his mind, he's practicing it, seeing how it could work. And as he imagines, he starts making changes in his life to prepare for the possibility. He's aligning his choices, his priorities, and even his character with the vision he has of the two of you. That's powerful, because it means you're already shaping his future before he even tells you. Fourth, he is wrestling with fears. And I'm not just talking little jitters. I'm talking about fears that go deep, the fear of rejection, the fear of not being enough, the fear of losing you before he even had a chance to try. And because men often they express these feelings, it can look like he is distant or unsure. But behind that hesitation is a heart working overtime. He is figuring out how to protect himself while still feeling something real for you. And let me tell you, how he handles these fears is one of the clearest indicators of what is going on inside him. He is learning to balance desire and caution, passion and patience. Fifth, he is prioritizing differently without even thinking about it. Suddenly, some things that used to be normal no longer feel right. He is avoiding unnecessary conflicts, stepping away from negativity and investing his energy where it matters most, which, yes, includes you. When a man is on your mind, his actions start reflecting that mental and emotional presence. He doesn't have to say it out loud. His life starts shifting in ways that create space for you. That is intentionality. That is love being expressed quietly but powerfully. Sixth, he is opening up gradually. Men don't share everything at once, especially when emotions are involved. When he's always thinking about you, he tests the waters first. He might start with small stories about his day, minor thoughts he never shared with anyone else, and see how you respond. If he feels safe, if he feels valued, he slowly lets you into the deeper corners of his heart. And that is huge, because opening up like that requires trust. It's proof that he sees you as someone worth revealing his inner self to, someone worth protecting and cherishing at the same time. Seventh, he's guarding what he feels carefully. A man thinking about you constantly isn't he reckless. He's cautious because he understands the weight of what he's feeling. He is not rushing, not taking unnecessary risks, and not saying things he might regret. That care, that patience, is a form of love. It shows he's learning how to handle his heart in a responsible way, and by extension, how to treat yours. Sometimes it feels frustrating when he moves slowly, but that's him valuing what's forming between you and protecting it until it's ready to grow into something real. Eighth, he's becoming more reflective about life itself.